In this episode, we sat down with Emma Buckman, one of our project managers, to get to know her a little better.
Yeah, and we got to hear a really interesting story that I didn't know about her start to construction in a very unique way. And that was pretty cool to listen to her story and how she got into it. We also talk a bit about her time at Reisinger Build, the projects that she's working on here, and find out why she's so awesome.
Thanks for joining us today.
You're so welcome.
Let's just get right into it. Tell us a little bit about, I don't know where you want to pick up, what initially maybe got you interested in construction?
It is probably not the typical answer most people give. I was a senior in high school, tore my ACL, MCL, LCL, PCL, any CLs that you could in your knee.
Oh my gosh.
No.
Yeah. I was skiing on spring break. It was so much fun until it wasn't. And I spent the next 6 to 8 months recovering and watching a lot of HGTV.
That's crazy.
What was popular back
amazing.
then? Chip and Joanna Gaines. I mean, they still
Yeah.
probably are, but and Matt Reisinger, of course.
Oh, that's so great.
So yeah, I spent a ton of time watching HGTV, and I was like, oh, I can do that. So I thought straight out of high school I was going to start flipping houses, but my dad was like, no, you need to get a college education, and then you can flip houses. So that's basically
that's so cool.
I went to Texas A&M, and I thought I was just going to get a business degree, just something I don't know, just a business degree. Easy. Yeah. Walk in the park. I got through one semester of business school and absolutely realized it was not for me, and went actually to tour the architecture school. And in the School of Architecture, there is construction science, and fell in love with that, did a woodworking class, and the rest is history.
Oh my gosh.
So that accident happened your senior year, you said?
Yeah.
So did you start college immediately after and spend the first part of college recovering?
I was recovered in college, thank goodness. But it was, that summer in between high school and college, I was recovering, watching HGTV.
That's wild. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And so that program was a 4-year program.
4 years.
And what types of classes, what kinds of things did you learn in that?
I like to describe the education that I got as kind of a mixture between engineering and business. It was heavily focused on, we took a bunch of physics classes and materials and methods, means and methods classes, as well as I had a bunch of business school classes as well.
So it's you said it was construction science.
Yes.
And so it's learning how buildings get put together, but also the management side. That was sort of the business class
Correct.
of how maybe to run a company or at least manage people.
Yep.
Cool. Wow. And which of those two sort of portions did you like better?
I liked the management side of things better. Shocker. I had no experience in the field, so all of the means and methods, materials, how to put a building together was really difficult for me to comprehend because I'd never done it. I'd never seen it happen in real life. My dad is a civil engineer, so that was about as much exposure to construction as I ever got, was when he would show me a drainage basin. Wow, Dad. Cool. Water. But yeah, I think I thrived the most in the management classes and getting to learn how to manage people. That was one of our classes, was just people management. But then your junior year, your third year within the program, they require you to do a internship for a semester. So that was my first taste of actual construction. I interned for a custom luxury home builder out of Houston.
Oh, cool.
And so that was awesome to get to actually see what I was learning in books in real life.
Yeah, for sure. And going back a little, what made you choose? So obviously you already registered for A&M.
Right.
Why A&M?
Fourth generation Aggie.
Okay.
Didn't really have a choice. No, I mean, it was like, it's very cultish, right? Like I grew up being told, don't wear burnt orange. I'm from Austin. So it is a little weird that UT was never an option or not ever like a thought in my mind, but fourth generation.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. Well, I won't hold it against you.
I know I get a lot of flack for that.
So you interned or worked for the home builder? Interned. And before you graduated, did you know where you were going to work? Did you graduate and then look for a job, or what's that?
So that was another really awesome part of the program at Texas A&M. Wow, this feels like an ad. It's not. The awesome thing about that was they have all of these career fairs set up. So that was actually how I landed my internship. And then after my internship, there was other career fairs, and I really liked residential. However, the program at A&M was heavily focused on commercial. And so we had a bunch of commercial contractors from all over the United States that would fly in and basically court you because the program is very highly rated in the U.S. So I got courted by a couple of different commercial contractors and ended up landing a job. I think it was February of my senior year. No. It was my fall semester of my senior year. So I basically got a check out after I landed the job.
I was just saying,
that's hard.
That was hard.
It doesn't matter.
Talk about senioritis.
Wow. So did you have any time between college and starting that, or you just immediately kind of?
I had 2 months where I got as much vegging as I could, and I babysat a lot of dogs to pay for my move. I ended up, it's a national company, but I ended up getting like stationed, I guess is what they call it, in Denver, Colorado. So I needed to be able to afford the move and dog sitting. That's how I did that.
Yeah. Nice. It's, so you had mentioned that it was geared towards commercial. I think that sort of historically that's true because at least in the state of Texas, where you don't even need to be licensed to be a builder, so many of the companies that are here don't have people that have formal educations in construction management or building science or any of these things.
I've met don't. Yeah.
But whereas in the commercial world, it's almost required, right?
Right. Yeah, it was a little shocking to go into my first job being called a field engineer. You and I were talking about this the other day. Like, I felt so unqualified to be walking around with this engineer title, but I was like, wow. Emma Thomas, that was my name at the time, field engineer. I thought I was like the big boss on campus, but definitely the lowest man on the totem pole.
And so that company, it was multifamily stuff you were working on?
Yeah, it was mixed use. Heart of Denver, Colorado. It was awesome. It was a great learning experience. I was basically on the finish out. We were doing, so it was, mixed use. We had apartment complexes above and then like restaurant spaces down below. So the project was super behind schedule, super over budget. I mean, just the worst of all the worlds.
Before you started, not because you started there?
Oh, only because I started. Yeah, that was, they definitely threw the new kid to the wolves on that one.
Man, that's rough.
But yeah, you learn a lot. It was awesome. It was 2 years of my life that I will never look back on with anything other than like fondness, because I genuinely, I was so excited and gung-ho about everything right out of college that, the hours were brutal. It was like 6:30 a.m., I think is when we had our stretch and flex, until about 6 p.m. And I was like, I'm working nurse hours and not getting nurse pay.
That's crazy. Well, I'm curious, like, it sounds like you're doing probably a lot, just managing a lot of individual components at the same time, like with a project that big.
Right.
What are some of your maybe biggest learnings from that experience? Or are there any things that you look on from now that like you're implementing in your current job?
I think I left college being a type B person, and I quickly realized if you are going to be any good at project management, you have to be type A. And so I adopted a bunch of organizational skills, I think. I was heavily into the punch list phase of this project. And so essentially I walked into a room that was considered finished that someone was moving into in a month. And I worked with the client rep and, oh my gosh, what is the name? The investor, and basically got it to the point where they also agreed that someone could rent that unit. And so just developing some processes that for me worked well, and then that I also kind of helped the others, my other coworkers implement punch list wise for like their specific units. Yeah, that's the biggest takeaway is like I really had to kind of almost change my
That's
functioning.
so surprising to me because I feel like Emma's like one of our most organized
Yeah.
and thorough
Yeah.
PMs. And that's so funny.
I was definitely
so
not.
it can be learned.
Yeah, it can be learned.
It
It's
can
not
be
a personality
trained.
There's hope
This
yet.
old dog can be trained.
We'll send this out to the rest of the team.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
So we often talk about internally how important communication is. I bet when you're working with so many different moving parts and different people from the trades to the investors to the client reps, I mean, is that pretty intense then? Like keeping
So
all of
intense.
that together with the communication?
Absolutely, yeah. Excel and plan grid.
Like what led you from Denver? Like how did you get back to Austin? So you were there for 2 years?
I got in a car. Imagine this.
A plane would be faster.
It sure would have
But she
been.
had stuff.
Yeah, right.
I did have stuff. Too much stuff. Yeah, so being from Austin, I knew that I always wanted to get back to Austin. I just love
Okay.
the city,
That's so
love
common.
growing
Yeah.
up here. And my now husband, he was my fiance at the time, he had moved up and we were having a great time in Denver, but we both just knew that our home was Austin. So I started kind of reaching out, and the other thing was I really enjoyed my time at this specific company, this specific project, but my time there was wrapping up, and they were the type of company where you kind of wrap up a project and then you get essentially like shipped off to a new destination.
Oh.
And my new destination was Omaha, Nebraska.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. You're like,
So that timeline, that went real quick.
That's like
wow.
going from Austin to Denver to Omaha. That's like not really the trajectory. you were
No,
picturing.
yeah. Nothing against Omaha, Nebraska, but knowing that I wanted to get back to Austin, that was a little stark difference there. So I also realized that commercial construction was not necessarily what I wanted to do forever. I
Why is
enjoyed
that?
it, but it's very, at least my specific project. I don't want to blanket statement anything. It was very political, it almost seems like there were
Yeah.
just so many people invested in one project that all had the same goal, but could not communicate effectively to get to that end product. That there was just kind of unnecessary politics involved, it seemed like just tensions all the time are so high because there's so much money, time, everything invested into this one project. So yeah, that was, I knew from interning and then also my internal house flipping.
Yeah. The Chip and JoJo
Chip
days.
and-
Yeah.
the Joanna within me, that I wanted to get back into residential. So I started reaching out to some local Austin builders, and I'd actually been following Matt Reisinger on Instagram since college. So I was like a little bit of a super fan, I will say.
Were we all?
I did slide, yeah. But I ended up reaching out to the hello@Reisinger Build email.
Really?
And there was, I guess at the time, our website had like a little contact us form. And it was like, how big do you want, or how large is your house going to be? What is your projected budget? And so I filled it in essentially as though I was pretending to build my future house. And I essentially said, I can't afford anything right now, but I can help you guys build.
Clever.
Very smart.
That was kind of my in there. And so, yeah, I got
Steve's
Steve's eyes.
it did catch Steve's eyes. Good old Steve. So, yeah, I interviewed, and from there it was like it just fit. It was amazing to just talk with everyone, like different parts of the team. I ended up having a trip down here already planned, so then I got to kind of meet the team in person because at the time it was COVID. So
Yeah, when you started, not too much after me, right?
I think so. Yeah, I believe June of 2021 is when I started.
Yeah, so almost a year after I started. Yeah, but that was the COVID time, especially in the office here. It was different.
I remember because Denver especially was so locked down, everything. I walked up to our office and I had a mask on and I was like peeking in the window. I was like, does anyone else have a mask? I don't know. And Tim greeted me. I think he had a mask too. And he was like, do you want me to wear a mask? I was like, I don't really want to wear one unless you want to wear one. So yeah, that was a long time ago. Feels like a different lifetime.
Wow, that's crazy.
But now I'm here.
Yeah.
And so let's talk a little bit about what your position is here and what your first project was and what that was like. So you are project manager?
I think so. I think that's what they call me.
Did you start as project manager?
I did not. I started as an assistant project manager. I don't really know who I was an assistant to. Myself.
Right, but that's right. You had your own project.
I had my own project. I guess I was like, I don't know. Assistant project manager, and I got my very own project. It was very scary right off the bat, but I was excited, and it was I guess Austin had a huge freeze in February of that year. And so it was essentially 3 different houses all on one large ranch property that needed rehabilitation. And we had a very strict timeline. The clients wanted to be in by Christmas. And so just kidding. Rising Build and the team, we knocked all 3 projects or all 3 homes out under budget and on schedule.
Nice.
That's
And so that gave you the confidence, obviously, but also the experience, and you were fully invested then in residential. You were like, yeah, this is definitely where I want to be.
Absolutely.
I think probably with your romantic ideas of HGTV, like that was probably a good project to start with, right?
Oh, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Compared to like a full new construction build or something like that.
I mean, I was out there tearing down the floral wallpaper myself. It was great.
Yeah.
I was like, where's the camera? It was a great learning experience. It was great to be able to meet the different subcontractors that we use on all of our new builds, but in just a more like smaller setting. They were still very large homes. It was like cottages, but that's a very comfy cottage, if you ask me.
Yeah.
But it was really, it was a great learning experience and probably the best project that I could have been put on from the get-go.
Yeah, totally. So let's fast forward a little bit. So you worked on some various types of projects at various levels. And then at some point you graduated up to be a full project manager, right?
Full project manager. I'm a real boy.
Very quickly, I might add, because you are, like Chelsea was saying, so organized and do run a tight ship and are very good at what you do. But so then you were given, I guess, the Lake Travis project, Marshall Ford project.
Yeah.
That was your first big one, right?
That was my first big one, solo. So that project was new. It was new to me, the different team aspect. So the architect was in a different state. The client rep was heavily involved, which is great. But it just was a different learning experience and took a different type of mindset from the past projects that I'd been working on with strict architecture team, interior designer. There was the lines were grayed a little bit there. And so it was just unique from the get-go. But I'm really proud of how it turned out.
Oh my gosh,
I think it is beautiful.
So it's just to describe it a bit, it's a very modern design with a lot of simplistic but yet complicated details that you had to execute with flush baseboards and reglets and cove lighting and slat walls with hidden doors,
Right, yeah.
elevator.
I think we were inspired by the slat wall here in our studio.
Yeah. Pretty much every feature, lots of features and
Lots
of
of
features.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the largest house that Risinger has ever done to date, but it was jam-packed. Like every square inch of that house has something custom, high-end within it.
Yeah.
And just making sure that all of those details were thought through and at the end of it would be integrated correctly and work together. I feel like in that house specifically, there were so many corners and sharp edges where so many different materials had to come together.
Yeah.
That, I mean, there's obviously there's no designer ever that will detail every single corner for you. So it was just working through the complexity of those details and, working with the team that we had. And I think we executed pretty good.
Nice. Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm curious, is there, I've only been in that job a handful of times. Is there any particular room or detail that either is a favorite or that you're proud of being able to pull off?
I think the wood slat wall is really the showstopper in that house. It was from the get-go an idea that was always kind of just floating out there, but there was never a specific design to it. And so we had to go through multiple iterations of mock-ups and samples and different wood species and different stains. It was a labor of love, as well as there was multiple openings that needed to be hidden within that wood wall. And so just it was every 2 feet would be easy slats, right? Anyone can do that and execute that. But the openings were so difficult because each opening was different and different. Yeah.
Well, lining everything up, getting the spacing right.
Not having, a
all those
small little
things landing.
stick
Yeah, exactly.
at the opening of one doorway.
Because it is truly, so just to describe what it is, it's 12 feet tall.
12 feet tall.
And 30 feet long, 35 feet long,
Yeah,
something
30,
like that.
27, yeah.
And it's solid walnut slats that are completely uninterrupted, yet you've got a elevator, you've got a door that leads into the primary bedroom, and you've got that hidden return air,
Correct.
which was pretty large.
Yeah.
But if you look at it, you don't see those things. Yeah, it's really remarkable. It's a great job.
Thank you. Yeah, that one took some blood, sweat, and tears, and just a bunch of communication and collaboration between myself and the client rep and the architect, and it turned out well. Really
So
proud of that
satisfying
one.
to see that kind of stuff come together.
Yeah, to just have this idea and to know that that's what the client is trying to achieve and to talk about it for so long, but then to finally see it in action and see how good it actually looks and functions. It's really neat.
Yeah.
Cool.
Nice.
Cool. So let's go then to your next project, which is totally different in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
You and I are working on that one closely together because it requires a lot more oversight. We've got an architect who is out of state again.
Right. Maybe that's right.
Yeah.
Does your project have an out-of-state architect?
That's Emma.
Yeah. But the plans were, pretty well baked before we started. And, it's some 217 pages of highly detailed plans.
Right.
It is run more like a commercial project than some of the others where we have a formal RFI process and we've got submittals and a lot of things. So that's why we've got multiple project managers on that project. But what do you think, like, on that one? Obviously, you're crushing it, but why? What joys do you find from that project?
That project, I think, I mean, not to toot our own horn over here, but I just think the team in all aspects, so the design team, all of our different trade professionals, I think we've got a really stellar team put together. And I think through just our past projects and learning, I think we've kind of found our top of the line people, and I feel really confident with the trade professionals, especially that we're choosing to put on this project, that they are all the most professional, trustworthy people that are not going to stray us wrong. And I think our teams all collaborate really well together. And communication, like you've said from the get-go, has always been super important. And I think everyone on the team values that a lot. And we all have that communication in mind, no matter what decision we're making. And so, I'm just really excited about the team we've got going.
Yeah, I agree.
That's
So
cool.
we often, Chelsea, right, we talk about assembling a team and how important that is. And this one, besides the project management team, the architecture team, the clients, there's army of consultants that go along with it and all the different
It's a big
aspects.
team.
It's a very big team, but like you said, everyone is sort of headed in the same direction. And I think from a communication standpoint, so this one is going to take a long time. This is going to be an over 2-year project.
I'll probably have gray hair like you by then.
But the fact that, you know, we have these weekly, at least oftentimes it's more than weekly, but we have a set weekly meeting that, you know, we are all involved with, the client is involved with, and the architecture team. Everybody gets on that call every week, which is like just really,
It's just
really great.
It's for that to happen. It's really like so satisfying just that everyone's involved. And so like committed toward the same goal.
And excited.
Yes.
You can tell there's like an underlying tone of everyone's like, this project
it's going to be
so
good.
cool.
Well, and also I think the thing that I've noticed, and I'm barely involved. I only know kind of like I helped estimate and interact with that team a little bit, but I get CC'd on the emails and just seeing like the collaboration internally for things, and then also the responses that we get from the architecture team. Like, it's obvious that they respect us too. And it's so nice to feel like people trust you with something that's really important.
Right.
Yeah.
I think the clients also, obviously in any project, play a huge role in the overall team's vibe. But I feel like project management can sometimes be, not that we're in this for thanks, but it can be a thankless job.
Yeah,
For sure.
And I think the clients have done a really awesome job of making it known that like this is like they're so excited for us to be involved in this building because it's basically building their future. And they're just the entire client, everyone team is, I couldn't ask for a better one.
Yeah, I agree. And I think too, when there is that sort of like group feeling, that it really makes it easy. Not that we don't always try our best, but like we're rooting for ourselves as a team to like really make this successful. And you know, like I said, it's a long project, and hopefully we can maintain that throughout. I'm sure it'll ebb and flow like it normally does, but it is great to have that team.
And it feels kind of opposite from the description that you had of like being in the commercial realm and how political it is, and everyone's on different teams and like kind of working the system.
It's a great point.
Yes, finally. But it feels like yes, we really are on the same side of the table, and we really are working in the same direction.
Maybe that honestly is such a great point, and maybe that's why I'm enjoying it so much, is that it does have the commercial aspect behind it, where there are so many formalized ways that we have to communicate and document things and share communication. However, it's in such a different way from any way that I've had to do it before, that it doesn't feel like a negative communication. It just,
Good, organized and warm at the same time.
Yeah.
It feels very personal.
Let's keep it that way.
Yeah, I love it.
Organized and warm.
Love that job.
I love that job.
Love those guys.
Yeah, that's awesome. I wonder, as you're working toward, right now you guys are working on the foundation. Are there any details or challenges coming up that like you see and you're like, well, that's going to be challenging and we're going to have to figure that out, but you're excited for?
How about no drywall in the entire house?
Oh yeah.
That's still wrapping my brain around that one. I mean, yeah, off the get-go, like that is the one thing that I'm like, that is going to be insane to do, and I can't wait to do it.
Yeah, it is really crazy because, when we build out our schedules and we have our schedule template, it always involves drywall, right? Like there's always sheetrock in there, and taking that out all of a sudden, it's like, oh, like
well, what happens?
What's the sequence like?
Right.
How do we do this? But again, the plans are fantastic,
really cool.
and the layers are all there. So we just kind of switch trades out and do the things differently. But yeah, I'm really excited about.
I guess
that.
for like, so what are the different finishes that are not drywall?
So we've got a lot of millwork. So quarter sawn white oak is heavy in this house.
Nice.
A lot of limestone.
And that's it.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. And what's cool about it is, well, the whole thing's cool, but the ceilings are all white oak, and they're white oak slats. And it's not just a flat ceiling. It sort of undulates and curves, and those slats sort of help you accomplish that.
I love that.
So that's the detail I'm most looking forward to, is putting together those ceilings.
Yeah, me too. I'm looking forward to seeing it, but not having to figure out how to do it.
Our framer's got to be on it on this one.
Yeah. It's going to be really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so thinking about, we've like kind of covered your background. We've talked about some projects and like how you got here. Just to end the conversation, if you weren't in construction, what do you think you might be doing?
Oh my goodness.
An easy one.
Easy.
It could be anything.
Yeah.
It could be anything.
Skydiving.
If you hadn't torn all the CLs.
Right, yeah, like ski instructor. Oh my gosh. This really is.
I mean, that's
the
a good
hardest-
answer, because that means you're doing the right thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Maybe that's it.
The no answer is an answer.
We'll accept that.
I guess I'd not have a job.
Yeah. Well, good enough. That means it's a good
Professional
fit.
shopper. Jeff Bezos, if you're listening to this.
That works. That's cool.
Awesome.
It's really nice that it like worked out that way, to have something that's probably at the time seemed and was terrible lead into such a cool career.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. My parents always said growing up that I'd be a really good attorney because I like to fight. But what I think that they thought was combative was I am just a problem solver. And I think I liked to solve problems differently than they did. And
Yeah.
something probably that would be problem solving.
Yeah.
Professional puzzler.
That's, I mean, it's kind of what we do.
It is kind of what we do.
Yeah. I do
Big,
enjoy a good
expensive
puzzle.
puzzles.
That's a hobby.
Yeah.
Excellent.
All right.
Well, thanks for sitting down with us and
Nice
talking
to
to
meet
us
you
today. Yeah. It's been real.
That was great.
That's it for another episode of Work in Process. Thanks for listening. If you've got a question, a topic suggestion, or want to start a project with us, send an email to hello@reisingerbuild.com.
You can also find us on Instagram at risingerbuild_ATX or on YouTube by searching Risinger Build. We'd love to hear from you.